Coaches, are you tired of chasing leads that ghost you, that say they can't afford it, or are just looking to pick your brain for free? If that is you, then this video is exactly what you're looking for and might be the one thing that actually saves your business. By the end of this video, I'm going to break down exactly how you need to nurture your leads that you already have so that they convert without feeling salesy or pushy. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Chris Barry. I've helped coaches sell over $10 million. And today we're going to talk about the best ways to nurture your leads so they actually convert into sales. And make sure to stick around because at the end, I'm going to share the one mistake that many coaches make that's probably killing your conversions right now, even if you're doing everything else right. So jumping straight into it. The first thing that I would like to do is share my iPad screen and we'll dive in. Number one is that most leads aren't ready to buy. And I'll even do it. So I'll say most not ready buy. This is really great English, guys, but you get the point, okay? Most not ready buy. I swear I can speak good English. So what I want you guys to think about is essentially imagine this pyramid, okay? Only a small percentage of people. I was looking in preparation for this video. I had my own numbers and metrics that people have given to me in the past, mentors, but I was even doing it. They say that only 3 to 5% of your leads that you generate are actually ready to buy on that very first call. And so what does that mean? There's a lot of coaches that come in and they're like, oh, my leads are good. Why aren't they buying? It's like, look, guys, you just have to understand, especially we're talking high ticket coaching is another thing too, guys. If we're talking low ticket, this is different. But high ticket, let's call it multiple thousands of dollars plus is what you're selling. Not everyone's going to be ready to buy right then and there. And so if we're following this principle of the 3 to 5%, then that once again means that anywhere from 95 to 97% of your leads need more time. And so that's one of the biggest problems that I see so many coaches making. They come in to every single sales call seeing it as, oh, if I don't close them immediately. And by the way, also, it doesn't mean actually you even need to get on a sales call. There's ways we can do that. Hence the reason why we're talking about nurturing, right? Automate it so that you can get this number much bigger. But when people first enter your role, only 3 to 5% of people are actually ready to buy as an industry standard, as an industry average, okay? So that's just principle number one to keep at the forefront of your mind. Now we're going to talk about what can you do to get more of these people to be ready to buy. And the real thing that it comes down to is lack of trust. And so there's 2 things underneath this I would like for you guys to go ahead and keep in mind. Number 1, you have society as a whole. And number 2, you have our industry. So number 1, society. There's so much distrust right now. You have the left versus the right. You have people with COVID saying, oh, you need to get vaccinated. You don't need to get vaccinated. You have people that are pro-immigration, anti-immigration. You have people, I could go down the whole list of all of these different things. And ultimately, there's so much division. There's so much mistrust. A lot of the mistrust is also coming from news media outlets because what used to be a verifiable source, and if you disagree with this, okay, I'm just trying to give examples on it. What used to be a reliable source of the news seemingly is not as reliable in telling the truth as it should be. So a lot of people have distrust. That's just overarchingly what's going on, one. And then number 2, also inside of this industry, especially online coaching. First of all, coaching as a whole, and then online coaching. Now, why is that the case? Because there's a couple of bad people out there that don't care about getting results for clients. They take their money and they don't end up delivering. And so people get bad taste in their mouth from those experiences, number 1, or they hear other people that have had that, or people that are straight up lying. And even one thing I'll mention too is if you were to go ahead and pull up your phone and start going on social media and start scrolling, everyone and their mother is like, oh, I can help you achieve this. Oh, I can help you do this. I can help you do that. It's a booming industry, which is great because a lot of people are coming into it. But in the same sense, there's a little bit of a lack of trust, especially with it being online. And especially, I think the younger generation is now coming to understand that online is a norm, but especially older generation, older clientele, they sometimes associate online to scams. They heard about Judy down the street who got scammed from some dude in India who took her credit card information. Little things like that. What you need to do is you need to overcome these different things when it comes to lack of trust. And another thing I would also like to mention, a lot of people say, oh, I have bad leads. Don't get me wrong. Your marketing could be messed up and you are getting bad leads. But for a lot of people, it's not only bad leads, they don't trust you yet. It's brand new. Remember, majority of people aren't ready to buy immediately. And so ultimately what you need to do is to build out a system to get people to know, like, and trust you, and also to see you as an authority that could solve their problem, ideally on autopilot. And so ultimately A couple more things, then by the way, I'm going to give overarching principles, and then we're going to dive into tactical, guys. So I'm going to give you both because I think it's important for you to understand this, but I'm also going to tell you exactly what to do too. There's another thing that is important for you guys to know. It's called the 7-11-4 principle. Google did this study. It's called the ZMOT study. They took thousands of businesses and they studied the client acquisition system, and they essentially wanted to figure out, what does a client, a prospect, need to go through in order to become a paying client? And so ultimately what they found is that on average, it takes 7 hours worth of content over 11 different touch points and 4 different mediums. Now, what does this mean? 7 hours is pretty self-explanatory. They need to consume about 7 hours worth of content before they feel comfortable enough to move forward and make a decision. Next thing is they need 11 different touch points. They need to see let's say 3 Instagram posts, 3 YouTube videos, 3 emails, and 1 text and 1 phone call. I'm picking random stuff. That's not a specific formula, but I'm just trying to get to the point of 11 touch points. They need different touch points on it as a whole. And then of these touch points, they need to be 4 different mediums is the average of what they found, right? So that could be YouTube, could be Instagram, could be LinkedIn, it could be email, could be text message, it could be phone call, it could be an ad. There's all of these different things that are coming into play that you need to do based on the averages in order to get a person from where they are now into becoming an actual paying client. Number 2, we talked about the problem of lack of trust. We talked about society and the industry. We talked about that it's probably not bad leads. We talked about the 7-11-4 study by Google. And so the very last thing before we move on to the next is you just essentially need to build that bridge of trust. You need to get people to trust you, which I know you guys may conceptually understand, but it's important to go ahead and note. We talked about why most leads aren't ready. We talked about lack of trust, but then what do we actually need to start doing? So now we're going to start getting more into the specifics of everything. So number 3 is what we can call the solution. And what that is transitioning from serving instead of only selling. And a lot of you guys may be sitting there like, look, Chris, this is a business. I need to make money. I'm in full agreement with you. But I can tell you, if you transition to a position more of serving people, of helping people, and just looking to provide value, you will make so much more money. One of the greatest examples of that is Alex Hormozi. If you guys do not know who he is, after this video, write down his name, go look him up. He has just been giving away tons of value for years. YouTube videos, books, all of these things. And to put into perspective, he just went ahead and had a book launch, I believe it was 3 weeks ago. He ended up selling $100 million, over $100 million. So I say that's someone who basically for a couple years did not ask for money. He didn't really do any of that. He just gave away a bunch of free value. He served people at the highest level. And so ultimately, instead of coming away, and this is going to be a 2-pronged part, you guys. The first one is going to be when you're actually on the sales calls. Remember, most people aren't ready to buy immediately. If you have these nurture systems in place, it's going to be a bigger percentage of this. But just understand, don't get attached to it. You need to get the sale on. Understand, some of the people you get on the call with are not going to buy. And so instead of burning the lead, just go ahead and seek to get them involved inside of your ecosystem. We're going to talk about making that ecosystem here in a second. But just give them some of your free content. Get them your YouTube videos. Get them this, get them that. Get them consuming stuff of you. Send emails to them, because that's going to start building the trust between them so that they actually are coming back to you later on, or when you reach out to them, they're ready to go ahead and buy. Okay. So that's part 1 of it, of don't just go ahead and try to close everyone. Okay. So one thing before I continue, by the way, if this is resonating with you guys and it's starting to make sense, and you even want like more tactical stuff based on your business of what you can do, where you're at now, what are the things you need to do to start nurturing based on all of your data, click the first link below, book a time to chat with me and my team, and we'll go ahead and walk through. It's not gonna be a hard sales pitch. It's gonna be all around, hey, let's serve you. Let's help you. If it makes sense, great. If not, that's fine. So quick little thing, click the link below, book a call if you'd like to. Moving into the next step behind part number 3 right here, which is the solution to this lack of trust is service instead of selling. You want to go ahead and make sure you lead with value, right? So I know I kind of mentioned some of these things and it might be redundant. This is all used in order to get the point across for you. But when it comes to value, what does that mean? Okay, I would recommend going ahead and making some free content. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to make free content because then they won't pay me for my coaching. No, that's the exact reason why that they're going to go ahead and pay you for your coaching. The thing is that people only have limited information to make judgments about you, to make a decision of like, are you going to be good? Are you not going to be good? Are you what they are looking for, and so on. And so inside of this, if you seek to give away, this is a term Alex uses, sucky fluff, stuff that's kind of good, but you don't want to give away too much because then you're worried people aren't going to buy from you. If you give away sucky fluff in your content, then people are going to assume that your content is probably a correlation to what you're actually providing, and therefore think that if they pay you, they're probably going to get sucky fluff. And so instead of that, even if you notice, everything that I'm doing is the actual stuff that I am doing inside of our business right now, that I'm doing with other clients and everything. And so ultimately, that's the goal that you want to do. You want to transition it to service, get people to consume your content, give them value. And we're going to talk about the specific mediums here in the next one right here. But that's just really the solution, guys, right? We've talked about the percentage. We've talked about the fact of mistrust. And this is how you start solving it. You just need to get people to trust you by giving them value, to actually show them, oh, wow, this person actually has an understanding of what they're talking about. Let me talk to them. And even if, for example, inside of my YouTube videos, I also have natural call to action. Hey, book a call. Hey, join the school community. Whatever it is. And it's designed that way so that people that are ready, this 3 to 5%, and maybe it's not even all 3 to 5% that are ready to buy actually book. But I'm just trying to go ahead and capture people and give them a natural next step. Coming back to it, service instead of selling. We've talked about doing it and not just hard selling on calls. We talked about having a value first approach and then also just making more content inside of it. Okay. Now getting into number 4, the very last point. That is coming to the actual tactical side of it, right? Like, what are the tactical things that you can do in order to nurture and get this going? Okay. One of the simplest things that you guys can do is to build a 3 to 5 email nurture sequence. Now, what does that mean? Basically, some sort of automation that whenever anyone enters your world, it gets them to understand who you are. It gives them value. You want people to consume more of your stuff. The more stuff of yours that people consume, even if it's free, the better it is typically. So that's one of the first tactical things you can put in place in regards to an email nurture sequence. The next thing that you can do that really nurtures people is something called a VSL. It stands for a video sales letter. What you can also disguise this as is a free training. So you go ahead and give people a free training, but inside of that free training, it's also talking about you and your background, your results that you've gotten with people. It then gives the free training, but it's also geared around your unique modality, what you do, how you're going to help people. Because once again, you want to have value first and show them that you are actually good at what you do, because that's what they're going to judge you on. So you can have a video sales letter. That's a great thing that you definitely want to have in order to warm up your leads about you, your process, your program. Typically, at the end of this video sales letter, there's some sort of call to action for them to do something. Book a call, buy this intro program, whatever it is. So that's number 2 that I would recommend for you guys to go ahead and put in place. Put together a video that essentially walks through your process. Next one is going to be a thank you page. This is somewhat similar to a VSL because normally the VSL is embedded inside of a thank you page inside of it. But essentially what I want you guys to think about is, let's say someone books a call with you. You want to continue to give them the information they need to get them to the next step. So let's just say, for example, on this call that you would go ahead and book underneath. After that, we'll probably have a video that is explaining more about us, our background, our results, what we're going to discuss on the call, biggest things that stop coaches from being successful. And the goal behind is that to further indoctrinate them, to further get them to trust us, number 1. And another big thing too, guys, by the way, that I realized we didn't mention, we talked about the 7 hours, 11 touch points, and mediums. There's a couple things that you want to consider when you talk about building all of these things out. You want to have it to where you can demonstrate your expertise by giving them value, by giving all of that. Another thing too is also humanize yourself. You're an actual human. If you can get someone away from just, oh, this is some random person on the internet, to like, oh, this is Billy. And Billy actually has a life. And I'm not saying you need to share all your intimate details of your personal life, but having that, it gets people to humanize with you and typically just only improves everything on that. So coming back to it, thank you pages are really great, getting people the information that they need. The next step after the thank you page is also retargeting campaigns. And so what this is inside of the different platforms, if you're running ads, you can go ahead and take a specific group of people. So let's say you have 1,000 people that have opted into your school community. What I could then do is I could make a specific ad that only gets shown to these people because they've already expressed some sort of interest. And inside of this ad, I can go ahead and do a couple things. I could do something like case studies of clients that we've worked with a call to action to book a call. I can go ahead and have a video that clearly explains my program and what I do, and then prompt them to book a call, prompt them to buy something. And so why are we doing this in regards to the tactical of actually building out the nurture sequence is because, remember, there's the 7-11-4. if I can go ahead and pay Facebook to put a video in front of someone that's going to go ahead and break down on my 11 touch points, and then also on my 7 hours, and also the 4 different mediums. And so that's the goal behind it, of how can you automate that process of getting in front of people and making it easier, because then when people actually are booking calls, they've already done the 7-11-4 when you have these systems in place. I have 2 more things that I'll give to you, and then also I have the one mistake that I told you in the beginning. We talked about retargeting campaigns, warm-up content for DMs. That could be YouTube videos, it could be mini trainings, it could be your podcast. Once again, you get people starting to consume stuff. And so inside that, you can DM people stuff. This could be through SMS. We also talked about putting it inside of email. It could also be DM inside of social media platforms. But your goal is to get people to consume as much of you as possible. That's why YouTube videos are really great, because you have to think about it. Right now, especially if you've made it to this point, you've consumed 16 minutes of my content. I hope it's been valuable. If it has, drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, please. I want your guys' feedback. My goal is to give you stuff that you guys are looking for. But if you guys have found this valuable and you've gotten to this point, guess what? You just watched 16 minutes of it. You're starting to see me more as an authority. You're like, oh, wow, this Chris guy actually cares. The same thing you do when it comes to your coaching clients. Moving on to the last one that I have is segmented lead follow-up based on their actions. What does that mean? Essentially, we'll call this follow-up. Okay, this is getting a little bit more into the tactical and more advanced side of things. But if someone, say, come from an ad, came on the landing page, became a lead, and then let's say they went ahead and booked a call, there's all of these different stages. Some people never stop at the lead. Some people never get past the landing page. Some people never actually opt in to become a lead to join the school community. Some people never book a call. And what you can do is you can go ahead and make specific follow-up sequences, whether that be email, retargeting campaigns, VSLs, videos, whatever it is, geared to each one of these people. Because if someone went ahead and became a lead and didn't book, there's a reason why. How do you maybe start showering them with proof, showering them with certain things so that they do get into that? Let's say someone booked a call, but they didn't actually show up. Why wouldn't they show up? These are all things that you can go ahead and do. And you essentially want to remap out, essentially reverse engineer, what does a prospect need to see of you and of your business in order for them to be ready to buy from you? What social proof? What information about the program? Because if you can front load that in these automated systems that I'm talking to you right here, it makes your life so much easier, because then you show up to the call and they have a couple of specific questions about the program, them, their situation, and then you go from there. So everyone, these are the 4 steps that you're going to want to do in order to take your clients away from, I don't know who you are, ghosting you, I can't afford it, picking your brain for free, to actually getting people that are ready, to getting people as much as you can to this 3 to 5% so that you are being super efficient with your sales calls. Okay. Now, the very last thing that I want to go ahead and share with you guys that I shared in the very beginning. There's one mistake that people are making that is probably killing your conversions, and that is assuming that interest means intent. What do I mean by this? There's 2 prongs behind it. The first, just very clear on this. If someone is interested in general on a lead magnet and whatever, it doesn't mean that they're looking to buy right here, right now. And we talked about that in the very beginning. Like, don't assume everyone's going to buy, number 1. Number 2, inside of this process, if someone does have interest, it is a prerequisite typically in regards to intent to buy. But what you need to go ahead and do is understand you can't swing for the fences. When you get up to the plate in a baseball game, you can't hit a grand slam every single time. Singles are important. Doubles are important. Yeah, of course, home runs are ideal, but you're not going to get up to the plate and hit a home run every single time. You need to understand, where do I put people to keep them inside of this ecosystem? This entire process that I showed you right here, this tactical, what I want you to think about is imagine this is a giant spider web. And the goal of this spider web is, regardless of where everyone's at, you want to get them engulfed in the spider web. And the spider web slowly going to push them right to the middle, which gets to your high ticket coaching. And so not everyone's going to go ahead and get to that center point, but the more you can capture people, the more that you can get them to consume of your content, the better. And so once again, the mistake that many people make that is killing their conversions is, don't assume that every single person is ready to buy right here, right now. Understand that some people need to see a lot more information. Some people need time to be involved in your ecosystem. And if you set up this ecosystem correctly, people won't come back and buy. But the thing that you need to do is not be so short-sighted. I need to close them, and if they don't close, I didn't close. Get them involved in your ecosystem. Start building out all these tactical things, and I'll tell you, everything will become a lot easier. Your sales calls will become smoother. You'll be able to go ahead and close more. Everything just becomes better. So with that said, everyone, that is what I have for this video when it comes to nurturing your leads and what are the steps that you need to do. If you did find it helpful, once again, please drop a like. But the one thing I would like to highlight for you is, okay, you've talked about some of these tactical things of nurturing, but the hard part is what if you don't even have anyone to generate? Like if you're not getting enough eyeballs, then that's kind of a problem. And so what I've went ahead and done, I've put together an entire video that talks about putting these two things together, of generating the leads so you're actually getting the eyeballs and people that see and know you exist. And then number two, the actual nurturing side of it. So if you're interested in seeing that so you can put all of these things together to actually start seeing results and get more clients, get more leads, and get more sales, then go ahead and click right here to go and watch the video that I put together right now.